A study recently published followed 250 men on GLP-1 medication, so for example Ozempic, and they showed that testosterone levels normalized in a significant portion of them. It didn't increase the testosterone production, but it fixed one of the underlying issues that we're going to talk about today. My name is Raphael Al-Najaar, and I'm a medical doctor specializing in men's hormonal health, and I work with business owners, entrepreneurs, executives, and basically make them superhuman from a hormonal standpoint. Let's get into the video. Here's what the data showed. 250 men with either type 2 diabetes or obese were followed for 18 months, and they were given some of these medications. And before they started the medication, they showed that 67% were in the normal range. After 18 months, we had 89% within the normal range of testosterone. I want to read a quote from the author who said, "Our study is among the first to provide compelling evidence that low testosterone can be reversed with the use of commonly prescribed anti-obesity medications." And what I want to underline here is the word reversed, because it's carrying a lot of the weight in this sentence here and what this study actually did. Because they reversed the body's own production of testosterone. They didn't increase the body's own testosterone production. Let's talk about the three mechanisms behind that. So first of all, fat tissue is metabolically active. Fat has an enzyme called aromatase, and the role of this enzyme is to convert your testosterone to estradiol or estrogen, which basically means the more fat you have, the more fat mass will increase that aromatase activity, which then will decrease your testosterone. So you will have more estrogen and less testosterone in relation to that. And so when these men, they lost roughly 5% of their body weight, they dropped some of that fat mass, and they then decreased the fat mass, which then decreased the aromatase activity, which then helped them keep some of that testosterone that their body was producing already. The second mechanism is insulin resistance, which is right here. Because insulin resistance hinders or blocks your testosterone production in the testicles. So when you fix this underlying issue, which you can do by losing fat mass, you also fix the insulin resistance, which means your testosterone production returns to normal. And the third factor, which is close to insulin resistance, because chronic inflammation can be due to insulin resistance. When you have chronic inflammation, the signaling from the brain, your hypothalamic pituitary gonadal axis, will be suppressed. So that will be a suppression also due to the estrogen suppressing the same way. So you're literally suppressing the activity coming from the brain and going down to the testicles. So we can say when you reduce the chronic inflammation, you will reduce the suppression, and your body will return to that normal production of testosterone. And so this also means that if you are lean and metabolically healthy, GLP-1 medications will probably not help you, because we are fixing the underlying issue, which is carrying too much fat mass. If you have low testosterone, it might be due to other things than carrying too much fat if you're already lean and athletic. And so if you're not obese or have type 2 diabetes, this data might not transfer to your situation. But what else is important is they took these men back to the normal range. In another video, I talk about why talking about normal range and optimal range is two different things. If you're at 350 in testosterone and you want to get to 800, now fixing the underlying metabolic issue might be your first step, but it might not take you all the way to 800. And so this is why you must understand the full hormonal picture. So here's the short version. GLP-1 medications helped increase testosterone in these men by fixing the underlying mechanism. First one is decreasing fat mass, which then decreases the aromatase and the conversion to estrogen or estradiol. The second one was decreasing insulin resistance, so increasing insulin sensitivity. And the third one was decreasing chronic inflammation, so that signaling chain from the brain and down to the testes would reverse and become normal again. And so if that metabolic pattern does not fit you, this data will not be transferable to you. But the question worth asking is not whether Ozempic or any other GLP-1 medication will raise your testosterone. The important question to ask is, why is your testosterone even low in the first place? Because then you look at that and then you have to fix that underlying issue. Because answering that will determine the right approach for you specifically. If you want to map out where you stand, or what you can do yourself, I've created a free quiz, a free hormonal quiz. The link is in the description below. It takes less than 2 minutes, and it's going to give you a suggestion on what you can do to improve your own levels If you want to, there's also a link afterwards to get on a call with either me or one on my team, and we can talk about what that looks like for you specifically if you want to improve your levels. That was it for today. If you enjoyed this video, like it, subscribe to the channel, and send it to one other guy who you think it would help. And I'll see you in the next one.